Hi, welcome to Intens-afi Podcast. This is my first ever episode, so I'll give you a brief introduction of who am I, what am I doing here, and what I'll be yapping about. I'm Afshan, and I'm currently living in Melbourne. And as per a podcast I listened to earlier today, it has one of the worst restrictions in the world currently. I hope that's true because I have not fact-checked it. So, thanks to the global pandemic, I finally started my own podcast. It's been on my bucket list for a while, and after procrastinating it for quite a few months, I'm finally giving it a go. In the last lockdown, I started my own blog, Typewriter Towns. What is self-promotion if I don't do it right here? Last lockdown I started my blog. This lockdown I'm starting my own podcast. Not so bad. But what I want to talk about in both my podcast and in my blog are pretty much the same things. It's just your pick whether you want to listen to me or read what I have to write. Or you can always do both. Always do both if you have the choice. Let's get on with today's topic. University in the time of COVID-19. Like love in the time of cholera. I moved to Australia to pursue my further education. Different country on a different continent. Go there and just start your life. Like as if you have dissociative fugue. Not quite, but you know what I mean. So, that's what I moved to Australia and wanted to try adulting. This thing that everyone talks about. But then, life had other plans, and there were times where I would be on a park bench crying, or at 3 a.m. having a proper breakdown about not knowing how to cook rice or even boil an egg. Yeah, I know that feeling. I always had that sad. So yes, how people encash the opportunity for reinventing themselves when they move to a new place. I chose to get back into my shell. Not so bad. I actually happened to learn quite a great deal about myself, especially about my resilience. More about that later. So let me give you a little more brief background about myself. I grew up in a very overprotective family, so I pretty much had a sheltered life, overprotective parents, big scary brother. So that was fun. So obviously I had to be the teenage rebel. Sadly, to my family's dismay, that went on into my early 20s as well. Not just my family. I'm pretty sure my friends also had enough heart attacks in their lifetime. Thanks to my stupid life choices, spur of the moment decisions, and my utter stupidity in believing people mean no harm, and at the same time to be very pessimistic about life. I don't even know how that works. They seem to be like oxymorons, Yes, that kind of makes sense. I hope so. Despite all of it, I managed to move here with hope and dreams. That's a new for me. But I completely fail to understand one thing, that the abroad uni life I grew up watching is of American universities, not Australian. And also, they are completely fictional. So naturally, I was upset, Then my uni accommodation was called Res and not Norm. And everything that happened after that was one surprise after the other. So but somehow, after a very long, crucial year and a half, I finally managed to get to my last trimester where it was gonna be me parting from the university, making the most of it, taking pictures, going everywhere in the university. And then the lockdown happened. Not so fun, but not so bad either. When the lockdown started, I got into morning routine. I had a proper routine. This did not even happen during uni or at work when I used to work, but happened when I was sitting at home 24/7. I would wake up by 7:30 a.m, have my black coffee, do my meditation, do my yoga, listen to a bunch of podcasts, read, get a lot of art and craft projects done, and also finish my uni assignments. So that happened. It was a lot of fun. And I also worked on my blog a lot. I created my blog from scratch. Here's some shameless self-promotion. Go check out Typewriter Towns. Yeah. So yeah, I worked on that. I also got into personal development. I started bullet journaling. That's actually fun. I've gotten a few of my friends into bullet journaling as well. And they do it better than me and I kind of hate it because they're a lot more artistic than I am. So yeah, that's happening. That's fun. So yeah. So that's what happened after all that. Finally, Melbourne saw a ray of sunlight for like 2 weeks or so. That's when I went out, like breathed first time in months fresh air. But 2 weeks in, lockdown 2 started getting, making rounds. The rumor mill started going about that there might be lockdown number 2, and I'm like, no, I finally got my shit together. I started yoga, meditation. Okay, that happens in the house. No, I have a different point. Hold on. Yeah, I used to go on walks. I made sure that I follow like a 7,000 to 10,000 steps every day plan. And I did that for an entire month. June, yes, I could do it. But then suddenly lockdown happened and I'm like back to 0 steps or 50 steps at most, because sometimes I want to take my phone around the house or when I go to the kitchen to cook. Yeah, so that happened. So yes, what I want to say is my lockdown 1 was a lot more better than lockdown number 2, because I wouldn't say that I had hope back then. I really didn't. It was just me thriving in my natural habitat. I think that's what my brother quoted to my sister. Not so fun. I don't know why people think I'm just a homebody. I'm not. I can be adventurous, There was this one time in 2017 that I did a trek, and I still brag about it. So let's not talk about me being a homebody anymore. So that's it. I wouldn't have a graduation ceremony because global pandemic. I don't think I can ever stop talking about it. Never ever is that gonna happen, because I was really hoping to wear that black gown, the square pointy hat thing, and just throw it in the air and risk a possible eye injury. Well, this also must have some upside. Maybe or maybe not. Only time can tell. So yeah, that's my uni life summed up in less than 8 minutes. I would love to know what your possible graduation stories are. Yeah, so I think this is where I say my goodbye for this episode. You can find this podcast on Anchor, on Spotify, and Pocket Cast. Yeah, there's an S after that. Yeah, and also maybe somewhere else too. Let me know where else did you listen to this. Yeah, so this is where I say bye. Talk to you all soon.